All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Strafe Talk with your host, Ic3-Man and Anthobot. All right, so we would have had an episode out a little bit sooner, and we've been, just me and Antho have just had busy lives, and we had some technical difficulties in the last episode, and I didn't want to put out a bad product because it kind of, the program we were using, it stopped recording like I don't know, like 20 minutes before we realized that it wasn't recording anymore. And so I didn't want to have to go back and edit it and put it all back together. So I was just like, you know what? We'll just scratch that episode. The major's about to happen. And yeah, Antho, we are fast approaching the major, which is going to start in like 24 hours with stage one. And we've got 16 teams that are looking to etch their name in history. But before we actually get to like the major itself, one of the things that I'm really excited about is that because of the expanded from 24 to 32 team major, we're getting a lot of rookies. And are there any that you saw in there that are like surprising to you that you might have been like, oh, interesting, or like was everybody that's there is pretty much just kind of like expected?
I mean, there's some like teams that I certainly didn't expect. Like, I didn't expect to see like a second Mongolian team be able to kind of squeeze their way, and as well probably is the same as like a second like Chinese team as well in Tyloo and Lin Vision, like both of them making it. That's interesting for me, like to see um like those guys be rookies and stuff like that. And then there's some other rookies that have squeaked through that I think will do really well, and a lot of people think really will do really well. I think Tanier is one of them
Yeah.
that a lot of people have been talking about before. Just with how like he's been on an individual level, and just there's a lot of kind of like standout rookies. I think Krisen from OG is another one that could step up for OG as well. So yeah, I don't know, a decent pool of rookies, and some expected, some not expected.
Yeah, I think the one that like really kind of excited me just because of the because even in like the even in like his profile picture still showing the old jersey, but the one that kind of got to me was the bro drama. And so that's the one that like cracked me up because it's like, you know, with the whole Astralis drama back in the day, because even if you look at the picture, it's still it doesn't even show him in the NRG, uniform, right? And so it cracked you because it's like he made the major and Astralis didn't, so it's like, you know, kind of ha to you guys. But that's the one that kind of got to me a little bit.
Yeah, you can't never fails with Astralis. Astralis always does that for some reason. It's like all their other players can always make it. You saw, I think, Stown and Yavi had no problem with making majors with Heroic. I think Stair even has a major with Sprout from Rio. Like there's people that have all these majors, and Astralis as an organization just can't get it done.
I just can't get it
But yeah, that's
done.
funny. I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
That's
and
funny.
so like, you know, it's stuff like that that really gets me. And then like with Lin Vision, like, you know, Call Me Sue, like he's the only one from his team that hasn't made it, but everybody else has made, you know, been in there in the past. And just some of these other people like Risky Bob and some of these other players that I have seen on some of the lower levels, like, you know, it's really cool to see them actually make the major and just like, you know, all the work that's cut out. I mean, heck, you know, Astralis hasn't made what the last five majors, and in that time, Tyler's made at least what, two of those?
Yeah, which is
And
crazy,
and
right?
they're
Like it's crazy to think
how
about.
often do we hear Tyloo? Yet they've made at least two of the five of the last five majors that Astralis haven't made. Like, come on, dude. Come on. I'm not saying go to the
It's
Asian
brutal.
region, but come on, dude. Like, you guys clearly are a reputable organization that can find talent. Like, at some point, like, is it really the talent? Is it the organization? Are you guys just holding yourself to have a high of a standard? Like, that's the part that kind of gets to me a little bit.
A question for you. Did you, am I thinking of this wrong, but did you casted an Amiga in your league or no?
So
Or are
I
they
don't
different
think I've
teams?
had the opportunity to cast an Amiga. No,
Not Amiga.
I know we were talking
It's a
about
different.
different things as far as like what's the best teams I've casted for so far. And I would say like I think it was either like if I go to the ranks right quick, I'm gonna go to the. Did you just pull like all of Valve rankings? Is that how you did it? You asked me to do it.
I think so, yeah.
So like if I go scroll down, I think the best team that I've casted for was Nexus so far. Nexus, I've done them, and Cybershock and Sashi, Arc Red. There was somebody else up here. Favbet, Zero Tenacity, Eclot. I think it was
I think I'm
Eclot. I
just
think it was Eclot that
I,
that it was.
I think I'm just getting like the fact that I remember you like casting like a few like CIS mixes, and I
Yes.
think I'm just getting them all like confused with Namiga because yeah, that's essentially what Namiga is, right? Just a CIS mix. You get the Kazakh, you get the Belarusian. I don't even know what um
Belarusian,
Belarusian. Yeah, that.
and then the rest of the
Um.
Ruskies. Yeah.
So I don't know like what direction you necessarily want to head in first. We did get in-game stickers, so that's cool. We get the stickers that are no longer borderless, which
Yes.
is what everybody was asking for. What a lot of people were asking for is getting a little bit too stale copy paste with the other major stickers. So, what are your initial thoughts on those? Because it was interesting. Like a lot of people didn't like it at first, and then there was some like tweets saying that, oh wow, these stickers glow in the dark, and then it turns out when you actually scrape them, they do glow in the dark, and they actually genuinely look nice. So, what are your initial thoughts, kind of, on these?
Man, I looked at him and I was like, I was freaking stoked. Like that was my biggest thing. I was super stoked for the major stickers and looking at them, and that was I love them to death because as much as the stereotype, like okay, you think of the word Texas, it doesn't even have to be awesome. You think of the word Texas, and everybody's like yeehaw, cowboys, cowboy hats, Wild West, gunslingers, like all that stuff, right? Cows and whatnot, and it's there are parts of it that is parts of Texas history, and you know what? If that's the stereotype you're gonna go with it, I'm okay with that, right? Like you think about the Shanghai Major, not everything in China has to do with like dragons and all these different characters and everything. But you know what? That's just their identity. Like I'm not saying it's a stereotype thing, but that's just their identity. Like so run with it, right? And so when it comes to this major, the fact that they have like the Longhorn as their mascot and the Longhorn is on their coin and that the paper stickers look like a wanted poster, like it's burnt around the edges, and the fact that like they have a belt buckle for what is it, the hollows, I think it is, or foils.
Yeah,
Um
foils.
the foils. Yeah. So like I just it it cracks me up, but I'm like, you know what? Whenever somebody goes to look at that, they're not going to think, oh, that's not Texas. It's like they're gonna know that that was the Austin Major, like, and they're gonna look back on it and say that that was iconic and that was a good view and a good picture of it. So to start off with, like, I from that perspective, I like it a lot, like personally.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it gives it a lot of like its own kind of identity. I think is what you're trying to get at.
yes,
Like you said, you'll be able to like look back, 2 years down the line, 2027, 2028. You'll be able to look at these and yeah, just look at the theme and you know where it's from, you know where it's at. And I think it's really great for them to kind of make the change as well as like the smaller change. Like if you're a sticker enjoyer, you'll obviously notice this more. But the fact that we do have foils here instead of glitters, and we do have foils that are purple that are instead of glitters, because I know um, in majors like Stockholm we had, and how it used to be before, it used to be the foils were the pinks and the hollows were the purples, and then the papers. So kind of making this swap, I think it was a good timing, just because like I said, just the style of it and switching it up to foils. So it should make it pretty interesting to see. I found it really interesting actually, um, because I've been following this. I mean, heck, since they like announced that the major was in Austin, and
yeah,
I was curious to see how they were going to manage cramming 32 teams into three capsules. Or I was picturing, okay, well, are they going to make a fourth? Are they going to make a fourth capsule? Put 8 teams in each capsule. Um, I don't know, but they ended up, cramming them all into that last kind of package. So that's really interesting to see 16 teams kind of in
yeah,
behind that
that's
that
crazy.
capsule. And actually, I didn't notice this before. You can take a look at this yourself. and let me know if you notice this, but if you look at that last capsule, it's the contenders capsule, you can actually see the other teams in behind the capsule. It's just the capsule itself is blocking most of them. So you could see like a glimpse of Tai Lu and a glimpse of um Chinggis Warriors as well. It's just something like really kind of funny that I found and that I found.
But the capsule itself is just blocking it. Let me go look at that right quick because
Yeah,
like
I sent you a screenshot of
oh
it.
okay.
Um,
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay, cool. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
like where the other capsules are not like that, that one is. So it's kind of funny because it's like you tried kind of, I guess. Like you can't see like you can make out all of these teams except for the two that are behind the capsule. So I guess if you're one of those two teams that are behind the capsule, rip, I guess. I think one of those teams is Lin Vision. Yeah, I don't see Lin Vision's oh, I do see Lin Vision's just barely. So just kind of interesting from that perspective. So we also got I also want to bring up just while we're on the topic of like stickers and purchasables in game, we got this unique kind of
Oh,
souvenir package
I
feature.
don't know how that's gonna turn out.
Yeah, and I don't know either, and I think there's a lot of like confusion kind of around the scene because yes, the idea is very cool because like if a lot of people don't know the way that you used to get souvenir packages beforehand, it was always you watch the Twitch streams and you got like dropped a
You gotta
random
drop. Yeah.
or you got dropped and it had like a pro signature on it, which was really good. It was really unique to the actual match that you were playing. It's unique, like they were generally unique. And then I think it was Stockholm after the pandemic happened, and then Stockholm happened. They decided to uh, rip the system up and then just throw like a map sticker on it with both teams, and then whatever the tournament sticker on it as well. So that made the stickers or the guns kind of less unique in that sense, especially since you can buy the two team stickers. You can buy the tournament organizer sticker. The only thing you couldn't buy was the map sticker, but the map sticker came on every single gun. So that was kind of that staled the souvenir package kind of system. But
Right.
now we have this new system where claiming playoffs only, which I think probably is a decent idea. I think Valve would have kind of had to do way, way more work if they did it, if they made this available for every match. But
Right.
so playoffs, they'll have I guess some team or some charms on it. They look like I think Blast cards or something. They have a Blast logo. I think the main confusion for a lot of people, they're wondering if you'll be able to detach those charms. Okay, and the charms link to like some play that happened as well. So like say Donk's playing Vitality, Donk gets a 3K
Right.
or a crazy 1v4 or something like that, and that's the play of the match, then that's going to be linked on that charm that goes on that souvenir gun that you get. And what a lot of people are concerned about is that are you going to be able to detach these? Because if you're going to be able to detach these, then they're not going to be as big as people think. Because okay, I can just unbox one souvenir package, get a light gray skin with a charm on it, and then just detach the charm and put it on my Wild Lotus AK or something like that. Like it kind of defeats the purpose of it. So
Right.
be interesting to see kind of what direction they head with that. I would think if they're smart about it, they would leave them kind of undetachable. Um, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I would hope that they don't personally. But again, it's one of those things where I like that that Blast is trying something different, that they're not doing the whole cookie cutter cookie like paste and copy and paste kind of thing. And so again, it might work, it might not work, but at least they're trying something different. Like whether it's the logos, whether it's the stickers, whether it's the highlight reels, it might be great, it might not be great. I'm honestly trying to find the article. Where's the article? I was gonna look at it, and I thought I read it, but I guess I didn't. Stickers and viewer pass released. Why do I feel stupid? Where is it? Um, because I wanted to go back to that article. Oh, there it is. Introduces highlight packages for Austin Major. Yeah, I hope that they don't allow for them. I don't think they're gonna get a chance to be like dropped or anything. But I do like that they're trying to add something different because again, it makes it more special um, during like the playoff matches. and contains souvenir pack weapons. Because the other thing that I hated about the whole idea of getting a souvenir package for like a match was, let's say for instance you wanted to go for a particular map souvenir pack, and it wasn't teams that you wanted on your gun. Like it almost made it like I'm stuck. Like it's like I'm stuck between like an NRG FlyQuest or like a Navi and Lin Vision, right? Like it's just I don't want that. And I was never a fan of the way like that was set up, because it's like, okay, if I happen to get like, yeah, I can scrape the stickers off, but like if I get like a the Desert Hydra, I'm gonna have to scrape the stickers off, and it's no fun scraping stickers off from like that match. I don't know. I just that was my take on it. Was like I was forced to have to pick things, and I don't know if they're gonna play that map or not. That was the other thing. Is like I don't know if they're ever gonna play that map, and I had to. What was it, last major at Shanghai? And if I wanted to open like, God, what was it, Anubis or something? There was only like two options the whole time or whatever. It was just a map that didn't get
Yeah.
played.
So, and just in general, like the whole system was just getting stale. Like nobody liked it. There was really no point. Like for example, there's a oversupply of capsule or of souvenir packages from Paris on the market.
Right.
There's no difference if you get a Mirage Paris package and a Shanghai Paris package. You get the difference in styles of stickers, but that's it. They're both borderless. They're both, the same, gun, same outcome. You're gonna get a pink if you, if you get a pink, you're gonna get a pink from both. Like it's shit. It just comes down to the stickers, and then the stickers themselves actually aren't even that much, either. So definitely kind of an extra incentive. The last thing before we actually go talk about the event itself is that we'll be getting trains in the map pool, so we'll be getting the new train collection from the armory, which will be interesting. We'll see like an op long dog be able to be unboxed. I
Yes.
did catch this the other day though, which caught me off guard because I didn't put I didn't put two and two together here. So this souvenir package should be different from like all the other ones that we have because there's no light grays in this collection, which is gonna like inevitably make the red more
More
common.
valuable.
So,
Oh.
no, it'll be more common because it'll
Oh,
be
gotcha.
more like it'll be just the same as opening a pink from the cobblestone collection or something
Okay.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like a knight, right? So that'll be interesting kind of to see how that pans out. It'll make a lot of these skins common. It'll make, I think the only notable ones that I'm looking at from this collection are your like Oblong Dog, and I think a lot of people like the Tech 9 Whiteout just because Whiteout skins are clean. A lot of people
I
like them.
I hate that they made it the whiteout. I wish they picked a different gun, but that's for another podcast.
But no, so that's interesting. That's going to be another kind of wrench thrown into things. We'll see how that pans out. And yeah.
Well, again, I'm excited to see Train back in. Honestly, I really hope that they make a change in the map pool after this major, because again, the community is complaining about it, or that Valve actually does something and changes the economy too, because that's one of the things, like, not without getting too far off topic, but that's one of the things I'm noticing when I'm casting is that like the economy is absolutely in the trash, and it's hard to see it from the viewer perspective, because you're just watching the game, you're listening to the commentators and everything like that. But when you're the one who's forced to look at it round after round after round, and you see the economy like firsthand, and you're seeing it in game, it's like this is very much a T-sided game, and it is very much harder for the CTs to defend. And the game was never designed that way. It was always designed for the T's to have difficulty getting on the sites and winning the sites. That's why they gave the AK a one-shot headshot. And so like I'm really curious to see like how these numbers pan out, because now that we've had a decent amount of time to play CS2, I didn't think Shanghai really showed off like how bad the economy was, but I'm gonna be honest, like don't be surprised if we see a lot of overtimes and a lot of like either overtimes or blowouts. There's not gonna be anything in the middle here at this major, because of that, and I hope that Valve does something big to actually fix it, not just like drop the price of the A4 or decrease the amount of the bomb plant or anything like that. Like I just hope that they do something big. Like they need to give the CTs more money, or start them off instead of at 1400, start them off at 1900. Like that's the easy solution. Just start them off at 1900. But we can get on that talk later. But that's my biggest take right now. Like on the major and everything that I hope changes later.
Yeah, I'll forever question why they changed it to MR12 or MR13, whatever it is. I can't
It's
remember what it
12. It's
is,
technically
but
12. It's
there you
because
go.
match round, like that's the round, that's the match point is 12. So instead of 15.
Okay, yeah. So I just don't. I'll forever question why they changed to MR12 and then didn't change the economy either. It's just wild to me. Just the fact, just because economy plays such a big role in it, right? And it puts so much weight on like pistol rounds and stuff as well, pistol rounds and conversions. And you'll see a lot of teams, in the modern day of CS go down like 5-0 before they start getting a run. And there's some games I think even like in one of Vitality's like grand final match. I think it was Vitality's last grand final match against Mouse. I think Vitality was up 5-0 in a map, and then they lost the half or they tied the half 6-6 or something because Mouse just got back like a hold of the economy. So yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from there. So
Yeah, I
hopefully
mean,
there's changes
don't be
along the
surprised if we see a
horizon.
lot of like 6-6 halves or 7-5 halves, or like like you said, being up 5-0 and then all of a sudden it's a 6-6 half. It's like, how did that happen? Well, if you actually watch the economy and understand it, like it's very easy. You can see the path that it takes to get to that point. And again, the easiest way to fix that problem is getting rid of the $1,400 for the CTs, start them off at 1,900, and then work their way up, because 1,900 you can work with that, because even if you full save 19 plus 24 is um is 43. That gives you the ability to get armor and a M4 and utility, and you're good to go. You don't have to go like a half buy or double save or anything like that. Like, because the T's don't have to double save. Like, they will, if they go on a losing streak, they will always be able to buy armor, AK, or armor, Galil, and util, and they're never hurting. And I didn't mean to get off on this tangent, but it's frustrating that, like, the more that I watch and the more that I see it, the more I start getting frustrated, and the more I'm like, Valve, I need you to do something.
No, and you would know because, like you said, you're the one, like you said, watching, observing it, kind of casting it, figuring it out, calling the saves, or calling when teams are saving, calling when teams are buying. Yeah, you're keeping track of it, so you would know.
Yeah. So again, I'm hoping for that. But again, that was a small little tangent that I went off on. But again, we are here for the major. This is something that got announced a year ago when we were over in Dallas and it was getting rumored, and then Blast confirmed it like right after Dallas happened, and we've been hanging out here just literally holding our breath. And then stage 1 starts tomorrow, and I leave for Austin in 2 weeks. I'm excited. And I will do my best to represent, Team Strafe and all of everybody that, loves us to death. I'll do my best. I'll try to hold up some signs. And if you want to give me some ideas for a sign to make or hold something up, let me know so that I can, you can see me on TV, because trust me, I have a really good seat, and there should not be a reason that I can't, be seen. But
Yeah, I'd actually like to request a "fuck you Apex" sign.
okay, I'm down. I look, I need a fuck you Apex sign, but then on top of that, I need to get him to sign it as well. So
Yeah,
that's the
but then
goal.
you need to get your wife to like make it really artsy or something. Is she good at art? Like just
Uh,
like make
I mean,
or
I'm
no?
sure I'm sure she can make it pretty, but like, what would be your idea of like making it artsy or making it pretty? Like, what like
I don't know, like "fuck you Apex" and then like a hand drawn picture of Apex, or I don't know, a picture of a bomb or like something like that. I don't know, just like something extra to get the camera on you,
on me?
like in the
Yes,
crowd.
yes. I will do my best, and we will have time to do that. But I will do my best. Heck, I might even get my kid to draw it. She likes to draw.
And then
But
actually, you might as well put like Strafe Talk on Spotify on the back of the card, and then be one of those people that just like show the sign on camera, and then
and then turn it around.
with like 2 seconds left, like turn it around and just like advertise us. Like it's a great
Yeah,
idea.
exactly. Just walk around with just, and everybody in the crowd can see it too. So it's like, everybody will be able to see that, like straight talk on Spotify. And again, speaking of straight talk on Spotify, did you see the thing I was talking about where I'm like, dude, we make a team and we just call ourselves SOS. And so we're just always advertising our podcast everywhere. Like, what does
Oh
SOS
yeah.
stand for? Straight talk on Spotify. I love that. We'll just have to
Oh
go make
boy.
our own like NA team or something. There you go. Hey, Oni did
Party,
it. Why can't we
party.
do it?
Exactly right there. You go.
But
So
I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited to go, and I am also planning on like, when I get there, not just enjoy my time there, but try to make friends, try to see people. I want to get some, product, get some hats or get some hoodies. I want to, dude. Have you seen those Colex cards, basically player cards? It's like baseball cards, but for like esports players.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so like they have that the company that makes it's called Colex, but like they have them like every year, and they all the players hold values, and there's also like every card has like a mint number on there, so only so many cards get made. There's like special autograph ones in there that you might get lucky of that are like 1 in 100, and there's like a lot of players, and so it's like it's again it's like opening baseball cards, and so like I might want to try to see if I can get some players to sign some cards, and just so I can have some mementos. And I'm gonna try to eat up the major as much as possible. And for all the fans out there that are listening, like if you go to look at the prices of any other major in the past, whether it's Paris, whether it's Shanghai, whether it's Rio, heck, even the tickets are on sale right now for Bucharest. Um, and if you look at all the tickets, like they're not outrageous, even for like the VIP high end ones. But I'm gonna be honest, Blast kind of reamed us here in America for the ticket prices. If you haven't looked at them, they're way too expensive for what they are. Like the most expensive ticket to Bucharest is the cheapest ticket in Austin, dude.
Oh yeah, I can believe it. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if it's because um they know that like Americans will pay more, or that like it genuinely does cost more in America, because I know like on a real note, like it does cost more money to hold events in like North America than it does like in Europe. It's generally cheaper. So it's interesting. It'd be interesting to see like what kind of their reasoning on that. Like, is it just because it's in America, all the prices are, you know, up? It gets you like questioning, like, okay, well, maybe it's strategic from Blast. Maybe they knew that people would pay that much money to go, because there hasn't been a major in America since what, 2018, right, Boston?
Yeah, it was Boston
So
2018. Yeah,
yeah, so we still need the Canada major, by the way.
Canada major. Yeah, no, we will get to Toronto here shortly. Toronto 26.
Or at least give me an IEM Toronto, please.
I mean, IEM Toronto would be cool, but then like you take away from IEM Dallas. But I mean, they just took we just lost Cato. So I mean, the fact that now we're gonna have Cat instead of Cato, we're gonna have crap. I already lost the name of it. Krakow. So we're gonna have like
There
IEM
you go.
Krakow now. So I mean, Cologne could be IEM Toronto now. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, or we could just IEM Mexico City. It's always funny because everyone's like, "Ooh, IEM this and IEM that and IEM this." And I'm like, "Dude, let's go to IEM Antarctica. Let's go to Antarctica."
Yeah, great idea, actually.
I
I
mean,
should get you right on the Blast management team.
yes, I'll get on the Blast management team as I'm trying to get on the Navi management team because I saw the job post for it. I'm like, you know what? I can't say I didn't get the job if I don't apply, so I'm just at least gonna apply. Why not? Who knows? but but
All
um
right.
but but speaking of major, so stage one we have 16 teams. Stage two, 16 teams. Stage three, 16 teams. But only 8 come out of this stage, so we have 3 switch stages, Antho. Um, really, really quick. You have your picks. You got your 3-0s, your 3-1s, all that other fun stuff. Um, I think our picks are a little bit. I think you said they're a little different. I didn't actually look at your picks, right? I didn't look to see what you had because I haven't compared them yet. But what are the biggest differences? Like, who are your 3-0s? Were they the same as mine? I'm gonna go find your post now.
Uh, they were not. So I had went like a little bit interesting with it. I have less faith in some teams that you have faith in, and then vice versa. So, like opening up with 3-0s, like we both had the same, and I think a lot of people, in general, are going to end up picking Heroic as one of their 3-0s, just because, they've shown kind of how strong they were. I'm blanking out on what the last event that literally just, oh, like Dallas, right? So they would have good in Dallas, yeah. They did good at the last event that they played in. Yeah, it was Dallas. So seventh, eighth, in Dallas, like picking up a map off phase. Like I think that's like
Oh
what a lot of
yeah, yeah.
people
They made
are
the
picking up the
playoffs. Yeah.
series, like series over phase, like beating like Aurora, like making playoffs. Like I think that's where that kind of confidence comes from. And then kind of before that, they've been dominating like CCTs and stuff like that as well. So heroic for me and a lot of people, definite lock. This is where we differ because you actually tell you actually think that you put wild card as your
Yes.
3-0, yeah?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And I don't even think wild card's going to advance. So that's what I meant about like completely kind of being separate. So walk me through, I guess, why you think wild card would be a good 3-0 and see if you can convince me.
So I was looking at so I was looking at the simulator, and when I was doing the simulator, I was looking at the teams they go up against, and honestly, my biggest thing that I'm looking at here is that yes, they may not have the experience, but their initial matchup against Matisse Sports, I think they've got that there, but the fact that they have Fozy and Susp on here, they've been Fozy specifically has been on a tear, and Sonic has some good numbers as well. So like my biggest thing is like Stan has been here before. He's been playing this game for way too long, and I think that Stan's going to be able to command his troops and get Fozy locked in and online. And he's a player that I'm really excited about. His sniping is pretty much on par. Like he's almost, I mean, he's at an 89 sniping right now, and his firepower right now is at 87. So like he's the hottest player on their team. And then if he can somehow get JPA and Susp together as well, like even Sonic's doing well. Sonic's been around for a long time. Like I can't discount the experience. I'm not necessarily saying like they're going to be a team that's going to make the playoffs, but I think that they're going to be able to do their job and get out of this stage well enough to be able to get to this point. And when I did the simulator and I was looking at some of the teams they're going up against, I'm like, when I really compare them to teams like Imperial, Namika, NRG, Chinggis, and everything, I'm like, you know what? They really are some of the top per teams that are in here. And I'm excited to see, you know, yeah, it's a little bit of NA bias, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm trying to get some Americans into the playoffs and whatnot, and you know, JBA has been hanging around for a while, but I've been excited with kind of the overall vibe of wildcard. Yeah, they kind of went on a downslope, but I mean, they at one point they were 16th in VRS at one point this year. So I'm kind of that's where I'm kind of at with them. Like I'm gonna put my faith in the wild card. Now I see that you pick complexity, and I can understand that, but don't complexity have a stand-in?
Complexity do have a stand-in, but I am going off of the idea that I think that the core of complexity can kind of pull them through a situation like this. Just kind of like Grimm's been having a crazy season. And then Nixon 60 have been going crazy as well, or like a lot their expectations have been a lot higher. Or how does
I mean,
that work? How does English work?
I mean, I will say that 60 and Knicks have at least had enough time on the team and in tier one that they're finally, I think, understanding the idea of like how fast it is on land. You have a Dren as your coach, so you got a really good coach behind you. And honestly, I'm just gonna I'm gonna be straight up honest. I hope this is Junior's chance to get himself onto a team because nothing against Halzerk, but like I would absolutely love for Junior to be able to take a spot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I do think though, like, don't get me wrong, losing Halzerk's going to be huge, huge kind of for them. I hate talking about it because when I'm not confident in a pick kind of like this, like now that you mentioned the wild card thing, now I'm like on edge, like should I change, blah blah blah. But I'm kind of under the idea of like I've already set them. If I change it, I'm just going to end up regretting it later, so I'm just
Yes,
going to
just
leave
stick
it.
to it. Yes.
Um, but yeah, my initial thought was just like complexity. A team, I would say like I don't like. I hate doing this. I'm gonna do it again. I hate doing this, but I don't know why I compare teams to Liquid all the time, but this feels like they're where Liquid are at, except they're not. like to making playoffs yet. Like complexity are like gatekeeping, I would say like probably tier 1.5 or like something like that. Like they're very consistent when it comes to beating teams that they should. Um like you got that kind of a lot with like beating like Furia, like picking up like a little bit earlier on in the year, like Yalla Compass, like beating Passion UA, Nine Pandas, like all these kind of teams.
Right.
Bucharest, I think, was a special situation, not a special situation, but they just had a really, really strong run in Bucharest.
Yeah,
That's
they
another
got
kind of
fourth.
recency
Yeah.
bias thing that might kind of rope me in as the fact that they were able to take down teams like FaZe, take down teams like Aurora, and these are like teams that are within the top 10. So my kind of reasoning is that if they can beat teams kind of like this, and if they can get by and continue to farm in like farm tier 2 like North American CS, tier 3 North American CS, and they're kind of doing fine, then I think that their baseline can get them through. Now picking them 3-0 might be a shot in the dark that I'm going to regret, because it is complexity, it is best of
It
ones.
is complexity.
That's it is complexity. So we'll see kind of if I eat my words here. I wouldn't be surprised to see them still make it and drop a couple maps. But I kind of just had to fire them in my 3-0s because there's not really like, despite me not being very confident about this complexity team going 3-0, I'm not really that much confident with any other team going 3-0, because this is just so much, like the skill of these teams are so close. It's so hard to pick somebody that's going to go flawless, especially with these best of ones.
I mean that again, that's something else that I'm like, okay, why are we still on BO1s? Now, I understand. Okay, so here's the thing. With this many teams and this many stages, this BO1s makes sense, okay? But in the past when we only had two stages, BO1s didn't make sense. They were stupid. They should have all been BO3s. But again, now that we have so many stages, the tournament can't last a month. So it's like, I understand for time purposes, just go ahead and make it the way it is. But it's still kind of pissing me off because I'm like, at some point, can we just like stop, like what's the word I'm looking for? Just can we stop the BO1s? But this is probably one of the only times that I'm okay with a BO1. So I'm just gonna like just throw that out there.
Yeah, I would say the same probably as well. I mean, I still think that it would be nice to have them best of threes, because we talked about before, like best of ones being so random that it's like best of threes are kind of the way to define like which team's better, or like it feels like it anyways. Um, but it's just really weird that it's in a really weird spot because um like what are they supposed to do? Like every other event's all best of threes going into a best of five grand final. This is the only event in best of ones going to a best of three grand final. So we'll just have to kind of see if like how it pans out. And I think Valve's smart enough that if they see that they need to make the change, they'll make the change before Bucharest next like later in the year.
Yeah.
But let's hope for that.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
definitely agree.
so I want to just mention a couple other ones, kind of differences that we had. I think the other difference that I picked up on right away is the fact that um, I have Tai Lu going through, and NRG going 0-3, and then you have the opposite. You have NRG going through, and you have Tai Lu going 0-3.
Yes, I see that.
Um,
Um, I want to hear your Tyloo thing because again, I can understand from all the perspectives, but like I'm curious about your Tyloo pick.
my Tai Lu pick. I think Tai Lu is a decent team. I think they're one of the better ones coming out of Asia. I mean, they've proved it, right? Like a LAN, I think, yeah, this is a LAN, possibly a LAN, possible LAN. I'm not sure if this is a LAN.
Landalan? What?
Oh, yes, it was a LAN. So they played a LAN in Asia against Asian teams. They like pretty much like mopped the floor with all the Asian teams. So beat Rare Atom, which Rare Atom is not like at this major, but they made last major. They beat FlyQuest 2-0, which is the other kind of like Asian Oceania like
The
team.
best one
And
out there,
then
yeah.
yeah, and then like Lin Vision, who would be the other kind of team to um
Who's also
like the
here
other
at the
Asian
major.
team or other Chinese team to compete, who's also here at the major. So um not necessarily making my total judgment based off of those matches in general, but just like combining that with the fact that I know it's been kind of a long time since it happened, but they had that like ESL Pro League run that they did pretty well on. They ended up 2-0ing 3D Maxes back in March, so like 2-0 3D Max, 2-0 Eternal Fire, 1-2 against Gamer Legion, good try against Gamer Legion, beating FlyQuest in that match as well. So um out of all of this, I kind of just decided that they I think would elevate to the next level and use the momentum of maybe the Chinese, I say audience, but they don't have like a live audience, but like Chinese like fans. Like I know a lot of people are going to be cheering on Tyloo. This is their first major. Like we had been talking about this before when we brought up Astralis. Like it's the first major since Stockholm, so that'll kind of be interesting for a lot of people as well. So I don't know. I guess I just kind of base it on like results. Kind of established that they seem to be like outside of like obviously the Mongols. They seem to be one of the strongest or one of the stronger Asian teams right now. And I feel like winning 3 times with this pool of players or with this pool of teams isn't out of reach for Tyler.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I can get behind that. I just
And then
I haven't.
like I can here let me explain my Tyler my NRG thing too, and then I want to see your kind of flip side
Yeah, go ahead.
on that as well. So my NRG kind of argument is that despite NRG having Canadian on it and it being North America, like I like them as a team, but I just feel like they're not very very good when it comes to like international results. And you can see that like a lot when you flip through like a lot of their matches, they end up having really good results against like tier 2 like North American teams. They end up winning a lot of these um, North American cups, like close, third, fourth finish at Frag Vegas, like NA Revival Series finishing first, like ESL Challenger finishing first. Like they're getting all of these like
Yeah, getting
national
second
like
in
events,
Thunder Pick. Yeah,
but then it's as soon as they touch international competition, it just goes immediately flat. And I think that's like I might get some bias from Dallas, and Dallas it wasn't very easy for NRG because like okay, your first match is against Falcons, who's one of the best teams, and then your second match sucks to suck. I guess you get to play against Aurora, so
yeah.
like it wasn't
What are you
like
supposed to do
it's
there?
you get there's not a lot you can do, but
Monacy, then
I would have kind of
Zentaros.
I would have expected more. Like they played what 4 maps out of those two. They only got 19 rounds in those 4 maps. So like 13-6, 13-5, 13-4, 13-4. So kind of went out without any it was no it wasn't really competitive in those matches. So that's why I'm a little bit touch and go when it comes to NRG. And then I don't have the information to back it up, but I kind of feel like getting to the major, they kind of barely made it. Um, yeah, I think this is the very last qualifier, and I remember watching this very last qualifier against Blue Jays, and they ended up like taking it kind of 2-0 in a um, closer affair. So that's kind of my idea of energy. So combined with the fact that they just can't seem to step up when on an international kind of stage. They've had all these kind of touchy results. Um, that's why I'm leaving them kind of down towards the bottom. Um, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if they picked up like a map or something and my O3 is ruined.
Which are ruined,
But
yes.
that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm interested to see what's your like flip, because like I said, you have Tyloo and O3 and then you have energy going through. So
Yeah, so
take it
like
away.
I mean, I would say that my Tyloo pick is this it has the same principle as your NRG pick, where it's like, okay, I feel like they can do good against their regional rivals, and regional being both Asian and Oceanic, and same thing when it comes to NRG is that they can do reasonably well against their regional rivals, and obviously they lost to Legacy, but like even on land in Vegas They looked good. I think NIP had to reverse sweep them. Let me yeah no they so NIP got the first one and then NRG got the second one. Then they went to double overtime against NIP and they had moments of greatness where they could come back or they could count on OC or they could count on somebody else like George or Hex to do something because Hex had some hella nice moments, right? I was watching pretty much the whole match. But again, like you said, when they go up against any sort of international rival, that they don't stand much of a chance. But when I look at the people they're going up against, between like the Bates, the Tylus, the Fluxos, the Lins, the everybody, like there's I think they can beat them. Like I don't think that they are going to lose to the Bet Booms or the OGs. Like I'm not saying that they don't deserve to be here, but I just think out of everybody that they can find a map to win and not drop them down the O3 category. Like I think they have enough experience. Like they have, I mean, again, you have a Nitro who's commanded many teams over many years. OC, we've kind of seen him go up and down, and Hext has a lot of good firepower potential. Like let's put it this way, yes, they've only been playing like regional stuff, but if you look at their roster, nobody on NRG, the lowest rated player is Nitro at a 109. That is the lowest rated player, and he's their IGL. I mean, George is sitting at a 120 right now. Everybody's at a 116, 117. Like they're at they're on an uptick. It may not show it in the numbers, but I just feel like NRG are on an uptick and they're looking very good right now. So that's my biggest thing is like I'm excited for this American project, and it's not just because I'm trying to get behind America. It's just more of like there are other teams. They can beat probably 75% of the teams that are in this stage. Now, the next stage, like if they're going against the phases, the M80s, the 3D Maxes, yeah, I don't think so. Like, you know, that's they're probably going to drop out of that stage, but I don't see them going 0-3 in this stage.
Right, interesting. So I will say, so we did have going into like advancing, so 3-1, 3-2 brackets. I believe we had three the same. Three the same. So we both think that we're both pretty confident that Beta are going to go through.
Yep.
We're both pretty confident that Bet Boom are going to go through.
Yep.
We're both pretty confident that Namiga are going to go through.
Yes.
So those are the three that we kind of had.
And technically complexity.
Technically complexity, yeah. I could because you had them going kind of through as well. So, but just focusing in on kind of Bet Boom, and Namiga. I mean, I think like they're all just kind of the most consistent teams I think out of the groups. So I think at least that's why I put them in like Bait. Wins and loses CCTs like every month. Like it feels like Bet Boom's kind of like been on an uptick, but we haven't really seen a lot of them because they haven't been getting invites. And then Namiga's kind of been around in tier 2, doing actually pretty decent. I think like for their standards, or for us not even knowing, like for Namiga as an organization to disappear for that long, because they were around in 2020. We got the 2020 RMR stickers. I had no idea who was on that team, and I can't even tell you who's on that team because I have no idea.
Yeah.
But they're back, and
yeah, they're back. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a team like Bait, like you said, you know, they're surprising enough, like, you know, some people might be like, man, who the hell is Bait? But like, you know, they're doing a lot of CCT stuff, which is not easy. They did well at Pneumatic Masters and ECL. Like they're doing well in a lot of these things. I mean, they are grinding everything. If you look at their map pool, they have played Mirage almost 40 times in the last, like, I don't know, 3 months. They are 30-9 on Mirage. If you're playing against Bait, insta-ban Mirage. Like, just get rid of that one. Force them to play something else. They are so freaking comfortable. 30-9 on Mirage, dude, for Bait. Like, it's crazy. But, I mean, again, Hetrick we've seen around. Nipple used to be on Navi. Like, a lot of these players have been around and have been grinding and grinding and grinding. So, like, it's not a huge surprise that Bait are here. But then if you look at the numbers of like, Namiga, yeah, they got here, don't get me wrong. And I think maybe we're mainly going off the name value, but like between Sway and Khan, Risky Bob, Lear, it's just, I'm excited to see this team. I'm excited to see Namiga. But like, they don't have necessarily the best results, but it's fine. It is what it is. But one of the ones that I really want to focus on is like Bet Boom. Like, we're getting our Boomage back. We're getting our Exile back. Like, didn't what was it? Bed Boom at Blast Bounty where we were missing like two of their players. We haven't
Yeah.
really gotten to see
And
Bet Boom like really on stage. We haven't gotten to see them on land with all their players. Like this is another one that I'm like this one might come out of left field, and we might actually get to see some really good Bet Boom. Like I'm excited for Bet Boom personally.
yeah, Bet Boom almost reminds me of like those other like CIS teams that showed up at majors that looked like they, had like some fight in them. Like I think back to like a Forza or something like that, like Force from from Antwerp, or like Entropic from Stockholm, like all the like these CIS stacks that have like actual like genuine potential to make a deep run, and I think that they have kind of a lot to prove in this kind of sense. So, like you said, you painted it perfectly. Like having Boomich and Axile back, actually having like most of these guys back. Technically, like Magnajez is the only rookie coming in on this team.
Yeah, Siren Zorte,
Zorte,
yeah.
actually, both of them would have been. Siren was on Spirit. Zorte would have been coincidentally on the Forza roster I was talking about.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I think that they have a good chance. The the only other difference that we have is we swapped green logos. So I have faith in my boys at FlyQuest, and then you have faith in your boys at Imperial. So
Yes.
I'll give my kind of argument for FlyQuest. I think FlyQuest, despite benching our boy
Yeah, sorry,
Alistair,
Al. Sorry, man. I love you, man.
um, I think they've been showing like decent promise. I'm not too confident. Like after talking up Ty Lue and realizing that Ty Lue beat FlyQuest a lot, I'm kind of like a little bit more hesitant about me picking into FlyQuest. Um, but I think just like they have um good kind of fundamentals, I guess. And if you, I guess if I really think about it hard enough, right? If I think about it hard enough, this is just a major qualifier for the other stages. The other stages is the real major. So
That's
if I think
really
about it really hard
yes.
enough, FlyQuest always makes it to the first stage of a major. So if this is stage 0, then I'm big braining it, and they're gonna make it to stage 1. So that's my FlyQuest kind of uh, reason. I think they can. I talked about actually, funnily enough, I did talk about this, but we didn't end up posting the episode. But I talked up when we recorded the episode that went downhill real fast. I talked about how FlyQuest at Blast Rivals didn't have like statistically, if you look at their matches, it's a 2-0-2-0 like Phase Spirit, like that sucks. But if you like look at those matches, like they're actually like very close matches, like 13-11 against Phase and then 18-22 against Phase. Like Spirit was a little bit more lopsided, them only being able to get 9 rounds in 2 rounds. But like I look to that Phase match, um, kind of where they were able to push Phase to almost to their limits. So I just kind of combined those two ideas into one. I was looking at their previous results, like at Melbourne, they ended up kind of impressing the home crowd with beating Virtus Pro and then dropping to these higher teams. So I guess like for me, it's gonna be the same deal as like a Tyloo, or in your case, like an NRG, just like regionally doing really well, and I think that they can take the extra step to make it through here. I'm really believing in them.
So my thing with Imperial, and this is where it comes to me with Imperial, is like I'm looking at some of their results and their qualifiers and different things. Like recently, they're coming off of a win in Fire League in Buenos Aires. And so like they're coming off that, they should be on a high. But this is what I'm hanging my hat on, is that, and again, nothing, and this is no shame on their other team, right? But their female team, the Valkyries, right? They've been going to a lot of these matches, and Imperial have been going to other stuff. But I really think that they have something to prove, and they have a chip on their shoulder. Again, I'm trying to say this with full context. This is nothing against female CS. I love female CS, but like it's almost like it's the man's job to put food on the table, right? And so like if you have the women going to these events and essentially not doing well, yes, technically they're getting make a little bit of money for their organization because they got invited and things like that. But like recently, the Valkyries got beat by I forget who in Dallas. but they recently got beat. I think Furia, right? And
Furia,
so
yeah.
and so there's a little bit. I'm going with the fiery Brazilian pride that Imperial are going to take in and taking some of these recent like successes, and they're gonna put it on display, and they're gonna show us something different that we haven't seen yet. And then on top of that, you've got a Shea Jesus who's like really excited to be here, so he's gonna probably have hella high output for his team. You've got your one Argentinian in try. He's gonna really try hard. Vinny's been here. I want to say decent. Everyone's been here except for Shea Jesus. So like everybody knows what it's like to be at a major, right? I think Shea Jesus is the only one who's the rookie, right? And so
Yeah.
in my mind, this is going to be a team that is going to they have something to prove, and I'm just gonna hang my hat on the fact that they're fired up, and they're gonna come into this with the mindset of we like we are still here. Imperials still exist, and we want to start getting invited back to events, and like it's almost like that fun competition where it's like older brother, younger sister kind of thing, where it's like you're both good, but like you both can't be in the same place at the same time. And so it's like you get better by playing better teams, and that's one of always the biggest complaints about the female scene is like it's hard for them to get better if they're not playing against the men. And again, that's just the way the industry's set up, and I'm not saying I'm a fan of it, but again, how can they get better? Like they are going to get beat. They've done well in some maps, right? But how are they going to get better if they don't do it? So it's like, look, we'll go ahead and showcase ourselves, and we'll keep putting Imperial on the map. And that's kind of my mindset is like, looking at some of their matches, and they're going to take that win and Fire League and kind of propel themselves forward, and they're on a decent win. Like they're in the last 3 months, they have a 72% like win rate right now. So like they're on an uphill tick right now, and I'm excited. Yeah, it's a lot of regional stuff, but still, you got to win somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and I wouldn't take away the fact that this is definitely an opportunity that they can pounce on, and that a good opportunity for them to pounce on. I think that they've been waiting kind of patiently for an event to break out, and if this is the event that they break out in, then it'll be good. Not only kind of regionally, but help them like kind of overall. Get to maybe more invites in the future, and it could open up the opportunity for somebody like Payne or something wanting to send the or no, like it opens the opportunity for sales as well. So, um,
But
definitely kind of hoping that they give a good result.
talk to me about your like OG pick. I don't have them making it, but you do, and that's probably the last one that we have different. Because again, I understand Matisse Sports and Fluxo and Legacy. Sorry, Bestia. And kind of Lin Vision. And again, we have FlyQuest Swap, but I think OG is the only one I'm kind of curious about from your perspective.
OG, I always hated voting with OG. There's OG like had this really toxic fan base in 2020 on HLTV that would just like absolutely like shit on you every time you made any comment about anything about OG. Um, and then they finally like disappeared because OG also disappeared. So we're back with a new kind of vitalized OG. Say Fiku's been on the team since all of those haters were there. He's been on the team for 3 years, so he's going to end up being the veteran here. And then other than that, it's just basically like just Fiku is a veteran, and then surrounded by a bunch of like kind of rookies. Um, and then you have Nika Dawes, who has a decent amount of experience on the op as well. Like he's been to two or three majors. I don't know exactly how many, probably two or three. Um, so I don't know. Their results were like decent coming out or coming into the major, picking up a lot of kind of um, tier two wins in that respect. I think their qualifier itself, like the major qualifier, was very impressive from them. Um, I don't know if you can expect that from OG all across the board, because OG is one of these kind of teams that are pretty inconsistent, I would say. Like they could go from 1 month winning, to or like winning a CCT 1 month to crashing out in 10th the next. Um So that's where I'm a little bit like iffy, but I'm mainly looking at like a guy like Spook that can get the job done. Like he's, young and up and coming. And then like funnily enough, like we were talking about people that used to be on Astralis and that made the major, like Buzz used to be on Astralis, used to
Yep.
stand in for Astralis. Same with Crizin. Technically, Crizin stepped in for Astralis, but I believe he was on Astralis Talent, no? Maybe not. He might
Uh,
have, oh, Mouse NXT. Okay, so he was on Mouse NXT. So
okay.
another kind of Danish rookie to work with as well. So I think they kind of built a good foundation for this, and I think it's gonna be a close battle for OG. If they do make it through, and I'm correct, it would probably be pretty scrappy, like 3-2. Maybe 3-1 if they're lucky. But I can definitely see them like losing their footing and not being able to get the job done. But that's kind of my 2 cents about OG. Just the fact that they've had pretty decent results when it comes to actual events, and then just kind of the prospects of the new players. Plus the
Yeah.
addition of Nico Dawes was really really good for them.
Yeah, I mean, again, you get yourself a Nico Dawes and a Fiku. They've been around for a long time, and I'm excited to see them back in the server again, even if it's for a short stint. I'm excited to see them back. I'm just happy to see that the way that VRS is set up, it's not the whole partnership program anymore. Because sometimes when you're always going to these events, but you're not improving, it's almost it looks bad, right? From the perspective of the team, it just looks bad when you're always getting beat. So the fact that you have to earn your way back in to get yourself to this point is something I'm excited about, and it makes me really happy that we're actually finally getting the teams that earn their spot and deserve to be there versus like, hey, I just paid my way in. I wasn't a huge fan of that. So again, always seeing OG at events was just it was very underwhelming. But now that they've earned their way back in, they can get some points. I'm excited to see them, kind of finally do some stuff, basically, right? So that's where I'm at right now with them. And it's like, all right, you got yourself a Buzz and a Crizin and a Fico and a Nico Dawes, and yeah, you got Spook, who's like the new guy. So the Swede's gonna have to prove himself. But again, it's looking good for OG. But I just didn't think that they were gonna be good enough to make it out. But again, looking at my picks, again, I could sit here all day and be like, I could put them in and maybe take NRG out, right? Like I could, I'm not a huge fan of my NRG pick, but again, we only have to get what, 5 right. So, um, I'm, I'm confident that like if heroic and complexity both go 3-0, then I'll be pissed off because I'm like, well, there goes my complexity pick. So it's like I'm at least counting on heroic and Chinggis warriors on both of those sides. The other two picks were kind of like, if it happens, cool, and if it doesn't, well, at least I got 2 picks, and I just have to hope that 4 of my bottom 6 or 3 of my bottom 6, I only get half of those right. So that's all I'm really going for. So that's kind of my mindset as well. It's like I'm hoping I can basically get one obvious one, because remember back in the day we only got to pick one, right? But now that
Yeah.
we get to pick 2, it's like, all right, I'm going for the half pick on both sides, and I'm hoping I can get one of those. And I only have to get 3 right on the bottom just to be able to get my next coin. So that's also my mindset as well. Is like, if some of the things happen, like if it doesn't happen perfectly, I have a buffer basically.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be difficult, like I said. I'm certainly kind of worried for my picks, just because, like I said, it's so random. Like you said, like you have no faith, or like not no faith. It's like you said you don't think OG's gonna make it through, but then like OG and Bet Boom just had a game a month ago, and OG took Bet Boom all the way to the third map and lost 13-11. So it's just like stuff like that. Like that's how kind of random this like this area of Counter Strike is when it comes to that. Like so back and forth. So I think it'd be really just interesting to see where kind of teams end up, how much of fools we end up like looking like after day one, day two. Um, but no, just overall excited for like excited to have the major, excited to have more matches, 32 teams. Just excited to see the competition because I've been waiting for it, and then getting to see it on. I mean, I guess I'll call it home turf because I can't. There's no events in Canada, so I guess it's having it on home turf is really a positive too. So
How about this? The matches we played at a reasonable hour. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. I don't have to wake up at 2 in the morning to watch the major.
To watch the major, to watch IM Melbourne, all that stuff. Like it's fine if it's like European, like Central Time, that's fine. But like, I think there's enough interest in America that like the viewership's not going to be down. I do kind of feel bad for that part of the world, but I don't think Europe is going to be too sad about it. They'll stay awake for the matches, or they'll be awake after work or whatever the case might be. But yeah, I'm excited just for the time zone change. If nothing else, I'm excited for that. Um, but
I would
but
be so upset if I don't get like a Donald Trump appearance at the major. Like that has to happen.
I mean, we can just
Like,
like
come on.
cosplay him. I mean, that'd be awesome. But yes, if Donald Trump
No,
doesn't
just
make the
kidding.
major, that'd
Just
be
get him right up on stage, just like wave to everybody. That's it.
yep. Hey guys.
Or I wonder, like, I always thought it was interesting. So, like, when Vitality went on their win streak, like Emmanuel Macron, which is the French president, actually tweeted about it, like, and was talking about like Vitality. I was like thinking like how funny that would be if like say that happened to like Liquid or something. Not necessarily Liquid because Liquid doesn't have any like NA players or any American players on there right now, but like think a team like
M80.
NRG1 or M81 or something like that. Like, how crazy would it be, like, see a tweet from, like, Donald Trump saying, like, ooh, congratulations to M80 for winning the Counter-Strike Austin Major.
And then they get invited to the White House or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Um Now, with that being said, really quick, in the second stage, just a quick opinion. Do you feel like everybody in the second stage deserves to be there? And then tell me your opinion about the third stage as well. Like, do you feel like anybody needs to be swapped? Do you feel like everyone deserves to be there? Do you feel like there's anybody just to watch out for? Like, they're kind of iffy right now, and then we can, close the show out.
Yeah, I have a lot of opinions about these. No, I think I like honestly like looking at the second stage, like everything below phase is kind of weak and like inconsistent, right? Um like 3D Max, we don't really know where they're at anymore because they've won games that they should and lost games that they shouldn't have. Virtus Pro has been on a downtick for a long time. Furia's on an uptick, so I guess Furia I would throw in I think Furia has a decent chance of making it at least to the third stage. If playoffs might be a little bit shaky with how new their roster is, but we'll kind of have to see how that goes. And like same with the Brazilian teams, the other Brazilian teams like MIBR Pain, like just very kind of inconsistent. I think this is a good kind of opportunity for those two teams specifically to establish like the best of Brazil right now, or like something along those lines. Just kind of have a breakout event. Like one of these two teams kind of deserve a breakout event in that sense. Just because we like the last couple events we've seen from Payne has all been like stand-ins, coaches playing, like stuff like that. We haven't had seen like a full, Payne roster, and then MIBR is kind of the same deal in the sense that we just haven't seen like a lot of reps from them. And then like honestly, like M80 is like the same deal for me. Like M80, it seems like I don't know the exact situation, but it's looking like since they're ranked 50th on the board, they're probably missing out on a lot of invites and stuff like that. So, which is why we haven't seen them particularly in a lot of events. So, I think it'd be interesting to see kind of what M80 can do as a team, like whether they're going to kind of just fizzle out or actually kind of put up a fight, and whether like being on home turf, makes an impact for these guys, like Lake and like Rec and Swisher.
Yeah.
Like, I'd really like to see like Lake have, I don't know how much wishful thinking this is, but Lake have like some sort of like JL style performance, like how JL had like did in Copenhagen. Maybe Lake can step up, and maybe M80 can make it to the playoffs, like something like that. Um, but yeah, as for like deserving to be there, I could like they're just like a lot of them are inconsistent, so I can't really decide like who deserves to be there,
Outside of
doesn't.
like
I
Phase
think
and Falcons.
Yeah, I think put it this way, I think they all deserve to be here, but I think a lot of them, like some teams have different, like it's a lot more important for some teams than it is for other teams. Like Virtus Pro needs a deep run way more than Furia does. Like Furia doesn't because Furia just kind of made these changes. This is just kind of like it kind of feels like a Hail Mary kind of for Furia. But like expectations for like Virtus Pro would be completely different because then you start talking about, okay, well, if Virtus Pro doesn't make past this stage, then like what's the problem? Do you switch out IGLs? Like is Electronic not a good IGL anymore? Like so it definitely weighs different kind of for different teams.
Yeah,
Um and then stage three, I think is fine. I think the stage three, the only thing you're looking at for weird teams would be like the whole G2 conversation, like having G2 still up here, like obviously because they have their core. But then losing, Mossy and Nico is a big hit like for them, right? So um it'll be interesting kind of to see what they can do with Hades. And if Malbs can step up, if Heavy God can step up, this is a team that I could see them getting, one or two matches. I think it'll be really tough for them to make playoffs, and I think if they do make playoffs, it'll be really interesting and put them in a really weird spot because we already have heard rumors about like Sunpius and Saw joining G2.
yeah,
So
exactly.
just be really weird if they had a good result and then they brought in a new opera and coach. And anyways, other than that, I think everybody else very deserving to be in this third stage. Like you get your Vitality, Mouse, Spirit, which is your three teams. Um, the other argument you could make probably is the fact that like Falcons isn't in this stage. Like it's kind of weird that Falcons is in the other stage. Like just judging purely by just like vibes and how the rest of
Like
the
the
events have
yeah,
gone.
like name basis
Um,
and player and everything. Yeah,
yeah, so that's a little bit weird, but when I'm like looking at these teams, like yeah, these are like these eight outside of Falcons are kind of like the best teams that we have right now, the most consistent that we have right now. Even when it comes to like Mongols, Aurora, like Navi,
Liquid.
I can honestly just start. Yeah, I can start throwing Navi in the liquid bin as well.
Yeah, it's
In
just
the
because
tub, I
like
guess.
when the VRS points cut off, like the Falcons hadn't made the move to get Monacy, and once they did, like they probably could have been propelled up there. Um, I would say probably the only teams in the third stage, like you said, Aurora, Liquid, and Navi right now, because I even think Mongols are fine. Like I don't think that's an issue, but right now I think Aurora, Navi, and Liquid are fighting that gatekeeping stage where like they deserve to be there, but like you could make an argument on the other side as well.
Aurora's slipping too. Aurora needs to
Aurora's
find
very
footing as
much
well.
slipping. Yes,
Yeah.
they something needs to change over there. I don't know what's going on, but they were like, dude, they were like probably a top four, top five team, and all of a sudden they just are losing everything.
Like these are the last five teams Aurora have lost to, right? So Mongols, understandable. That goes hand in hand, back and forth. We talked about that. Heroic, which is interesting. Astralis, Navi, Big. Those are the last five
That's a
losses.
big loss right there.
It's a big loss. It's a big rip. No, they
I
just need to find like some sort of footing. And they're probably gonna get that. The sad part is if they do bad. Oh my god, that was bad. Uh, if they do bad in this event, then people are just gonna make fun of them. Like you're gonna hear a lot of like, "Oh, it shouldn't have accepted, Russian gambling money and stuff like that." So I hope they don't get kind of a lot of hate. But yeah, they certainly need to find their footing because I'm concerned for them. Basically, the bottom four. I'm interested to see how Liquid's gonna do because I think Liquid we haven't had a lot of sample sizes from Liquid, and I saw somebody else say this, and I agree with this like wholeheartedly. Um, Liquid's been getting better, like event, like event by event. Like think back to the very first event they had with Shui, right? Like they
they
bombed
got
out, they got no
screwed. Yeah,
wins, yeah, no wins at all. So like it's not that hard to do better than that, but they have been doing better than that, and they just need to find like some sort of consistency.
yeah. I mean, they made the playoffs in somewhere. Austin,
Melbourne,
Dallas,
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Yeah,
Melbourne. Yeah, Dallas they crashed out. Now's Aurora a really
yeah, they made
hard kind of
fifth,
opponent.
sixth in Melbourne and lost to the Mongols. But I mean, you beat MIBR, beat Navi, beat VP, lost to Vitality. Woo. Okay, that's kind of a given. But I mean, you made the playoffs, and like I said, you're kind of on an uptick where. Yeah, Bucharest, you kind of like you got bombed out. You came back in Melbourne. Dallas was like maybe honestly they're probably looking at Dallas saying, "All right, let's try some new things out." And then all of a sudden, you lost to Miles and lost to Aurora. Okay, that's fine. And I just see him on an uptick right now, and I'm okay with it. And the thing is, with the cool thing about all these teams in the third stage is like you're fine. Like you have the next 2 weeks to chill out and practice. Like take full advantage of that. And so like the teams that are coming up that are playing, like I'm gonna be honest, if you're in this first stage and you make it to the next stage, and then if you get out of that one and make it to the third stage, I'm gonna be honest, you just I would kiss the playoffs goodbye. Like I just it's gonna be rough.
A lot of Counter Strike to play.
That is a lot of Counter Strike to play, and I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this format because of that. Like, yes, this is a major, and yes, you have to like prove yourself and be the best of the best if you want to lift that trophy and be on stage. But like, that's a lot of, especially imagine being a 3-2 team going into a 3-2 team. Like I'm not saying you're always going to 3-2, but like that's a lot of Counter Strike to play over the next like 3 weeks, and it's just that's rough. That's all I'm gonna say. This is
Well,
rough.
I just mentioned to you the fact, or before we hit record, I mentioned to you. So MIBR in Shanghai played. They went 3-2 in the first stage, and they went 2-3 in the second stage, meaning they played like the maximum amount of games that you could play: two best of ones, three best. Well, actually, I don't know exactly how it went down, but anyways, five different like series is basically. So think like that could happen, and then if you're a good enough team, or like I guess yeah, if you're a good enough team, then it could happen like literally three times. So you could find yourself playing 15 different like
Series.
series going into the playoffs, like without counting playoffs. So it's just crazy to kind of think about how much Counter Strike there is to be played, and it's crazy to see how just much hard work you have to give when you're one of these teams in stage one, like how much hard work you have to put in to get to these later stages and to, keep up. So be interesting to see. I'm also interested just to see how teams fare like later in the stages. Like, are we gonna see, any one team make it through all the way to the third stage? Are we gonna just see, you know, all eight teams that are in the second stage already, somehow make it to the third stage, and all of these teams, like, it doesn't matter. Like, just to be interesting to see just the different spreads
Yeah.
from the different stages. And yeah.
So if you had to pick one, I'm gonna take heroic away. But if there's a Cinderella story in this first stage, pick one, and that's my last question. And if you want to pick heroic, I'll give you heroic. That's fine. But like, if you had to pick a Cinderella to go from stage one all the way to the playoffs, who would you potentially see
Playoffs
could
is
make it?
playoffs is a little bit tougher because if I like into stage two or stage three, I think that
Fine,
like
stage
I think it would
three.
be really
Stage three.
interesting to see I think it'd be really interesting to see Tyloo take the momentum into it. I know that it's kind of wishful thinking because of like the way that that particular scene is right now. Other than that, honestly, if Complexity get Halzerk back, I think I would be rooting for Complexity because I think that would be really interesting, a really interesting angle kind of for Complexity. It'd be like Boston 2018 2.0, or like this NA team that had no chance of winning has a chance to win. So I think that would be really interesting kind of out of this pool to see them make it all the way through. But I think they would have to get Halzerk back. It's nothing kind of against Junior specifically, but I think Halzerk's been really, really pivotal for them and just a really, really strong player for them. Like you think back to the run in Bucharest, like a lot of times it was like Halzerk and Grimm, like just kind of taking over the game. So if they can get Halzer back with time left from the major, then I would love to see them, make a stage three run and then maybe even to a playoffs run. But other than that, it's just really, really tough to find a team like, and you could say it about really any team in this stage. Like we don't know how like what to expect from a team like Bet Boom. Like a Bet Boom could make it to a
Right.
stage three. Like like a bait could defy all odds and make it to a stage three. So I don't know. I'm just really really excited to see it go down. And like you said, it's I think at this point it's probably in the next like within 18 hours or something like that. So from us recording this, so should be
Look,
fun. Should be fun.
look, my thing is as long as we don't have a Paris playoff, I'm happy. That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go.
I'm okay with like a team, one team having a Cinderella story because that's what the major is all about. Like I don't know about other esports, but like in Counter Strike specifically, like the Cinderella run is possible. It has the potential to do it. You can qualify yourself into it. You can play these tournaments and you can get yourself a 5 stack and get to this point. It is designed that way to be able to have a Cinderella story, but not like three of them. Not an ITB and who else was there?
ITV, Apex, and
A-
Gamer Legion all in
Apex
one.
and Gamer Legion all in the playoffs. I'm like, okay, that's a little ridiculous. But like, I'm okay with one of them. Like, if I'm okay with like a random Apex making it or a random ITB making it, that's fine. You know, you did your job, you made it. God, I think you even made it to the semifinals or something. I'm like, okay, cool. But at some point, it's like, all right, what are these tier one teams doing? What are these top 5 teams doing? Like, stop throwing. That's my problem.
I want So I want to bring up one final question for you, and I want to hear your opinion. So, do you think what are the odds? No, I'm just kidding. Um, um, do you think that Vitality lose their streak during the Austin Major, or do you think that there's a genuine chance that they make it all the way through? Because like we've talked about it leading up to the major, everybody's kind of talking about it. The fact that they're really strong coming into this, 30 win streak. They get time. They get extra time to prep, extra time to rest because they're in stage 3. Do you think that this is a Vitality that can get the job done?
I am going to say with full confidence this is Vitality's major to lose. And it's not even that I feel like anybody can't beat them. I feel like Mouse can give them a good run. Even though they did get 3-0, Mouse have taken them all 5 maps. Falcons have taken them all 5 maps. There are teams that have taken maps off of them, but obviously not the series. Um, so my official prediction is that it's Vitality's um, major to lose. Um, they will be their own enemy, and if they think too hard about it, then it's going to be something that's going to be on them. So, um, the nice thing is, like, you have very strong riflers in Zywoo, Flames, and Rops. Your anchor in Mezzi is doing well. Apex is one hell of a caller, and he's going to plan a perfect path. He's going to carve a perfect path to be able to get where he's got to go. But it's not just that. I think Apex is really good at mid round calling as well. So like teams like Mongols, teams like Falcons, teams like Mouse are going to give him one hell of a fight. Now, anybody else outside of that, I'm not saying people aren't going to be able to, fight them and do things because people might see a hole, but I just think Apex is too smart for that. I think Xtaz is too smart for that. And so they will lose if they sit there and think instead of playing their own game, which is what Vitality does. If they don't play the other person's game thinking this is what they might do, then I think they're going to be fine. That's their problem, is they will be fine as long as they don't stray from their own um, their own strategy, right? So I think that they're going to keep their streak alive and I think they're going to go. But I will say this with a heavy heart. If they lose, it's not going to be because somebody's better than them. It's because they came down to that person's level.
That's fair. Yeah, it's an understandable statement. No,
So
it'll be interesting to see if they can capitalize on it. Just because now kind of all eyes are on them as well. That's a different way to frame it as well. Just the fact that everybody's like expecting them now to do it. So is that going to be added pressure for them, or are they going to rise to the occasion, or are they going to fall to the occasion?
yeah.
That'll
And
be
so
question. Will be answered
they
in
like
the next 3 weeks.
it might not be as much pressure to play a Dallas or an Astana or whatever it is that you played. It's like, okay, it's just another event. But now that you come into a major, you're like, we have to win. And it's like, as long as you just look at it like it's another match, then you'll be fine. Don't look at it like it's the major.
Yeah.
So,
So
Well, that's do you have any last like random stats or random piece of information you want to spit out before we say goodbye?
I mean, I broke my collarbone. I'm pretty sure that the listeners don't know that. I'm
Oh, we
pretty
still
sure
we
we.
still haven't talked about that. That's funny.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we tried to talk about it, but we know how that turned out. So, um, yeah, so that happened. So
Awesome.
I'm on recovery. I'm going to the doctor actually on Wednesday. That's why I told you I was busy because I have to go get a checkup. They're probably going to tell me I cannot wear the sling anymore. Um, but I'm not wearing it right now, anyways. So there's that.
Well, fun fact right now, as far as ratings go, Donk and Zaiwu are fighting for first and second place, and they are separated in rating by a whole hundredth of a point. Zai was sitting at 135 and Donk is sitting at a 134. So this will be fun to see how far they can split each other since they're starting on the same stage. But the KD is like 200 point difference. Zai was sitting at a plus 924 and Donk is sitting at a plus 742.
Oh wow.
Like a 200 kill difference between the two, and but they're only separated by a hundredth of a point, 135 and 134. So it's going to be fun to see like if Mondesi is going to get some extra time to play, so he might get some more like rating points after this, so he has a potential to catch back up to them. But we basically have the same three players fighting for the top three spots for player of the year. So I'm interested to see how this pans out.
I don't know. The year Vitali's been having, Donk might have to win both majors to catch up.
Look, he could win both majors, and I still think Zaiwu would take a spot because I think Zaiwu was pissed off he didn't get first last year.
Oh yeah, he's upset.
He got what, third?
Yeah, that's not good enough.
That's not good enough for Zaiwu. I'm sorry. He's If Zaiwu's not getting first, then he's not happy. He's like, look, I let you guys have a good year, but guess what? Like I'm the best.
Imagine being on like born on the same day as Counter Strike was released and then getting third.
And you're
Like,
like,
come on.
come on, bro. Like this is my era. This is my peak. Well, with that being said, it has been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you again, Antho. I know it's been a long time and we've been a little tired. We haven't wanted to do this, but thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. And for everybody out there listening, thank you for being here as well. You guys are awesome for listening in and hanging out with us. So, next time we come back, hopefully it'll be after the first stage is done. We'll hopefully have like what I think a day to maybe prep that one. So hopefully we'll find time to put that one through. And everybody out there watching, I hope you enjoy the first stage of the major here in Austin, inside of Texas, of the United States of all of America. And you guys have a great rest of your day wherever you're listening to us, and we'll see you next time on Strafe Talk here. Uh, God, I can't even think how to end it, but here on Strafe Talk. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care, guys.